Hello everyone, welcome to Prestige Castle Farm. My name is Innocent and Happy New Year to you all. In this video, I will be explaining to you that unfortunately we lost Queen, who happens to be one of my favorite rabbits in the farm and the first rabbit we've lost in the farm. I'll be explaining to you how the experience was and what we learned from that experience, so that you can take one or two cue from that experience and avoid making the mistake that we made. I'm not sure how my audio is going to be because I'm not with my audio set, but I'll try as much as I can to be as audible as possible. So, Queen, if I don't know if you know Queen, but I'll just put a video of Queen right here, so that you get to know Queen when we are doing the introduction of our farm. She was the doe that gave birth to 5 bunnies on the 8th, on my birthday, on the 8th of November. So after usually we win our rabbit at 6 weeks. But and normally we do not move the bunnies away from their mother. Instead, we move the mother away from the bunnies, because we've seen from experience that when you move the bunnies away from their mother, and you take them to a new cage, a new environment, sometimes that could lead to stress. It could, it could cause some issues, and you may end up losing 1 or 2 of those bunnies. So that's why we've avoided such kind of situation, and we rather just move the doe from the bunnies. So it was 6 weeks plus. It was actually going to 7 weeks when we moved Queen from our bunnies. And immediately because I'm very observant, I know all my rabbits by name and by personality. So when we moved Queen from the bunnies and we put her in a new cell, she immediately she became dull. She was facing the other side of the cage, at the back end of the cage. She just faced there, She was not eating. She was not eating as usual. But while she was with the bunnies, she was very active. But I later learned that the reason why she was active was because the bunnies were, they were just, trying to breastfeed from her and all of that. And that's why she's active. But whatever that was happening was already there in the system. So I immediately reached out to my vet, who suggested that I get multivitamin for the rabbit. So I got multivitamin for her, and I administered the multivitamin. And 2 days I was expecting some change, but after 2-3 days it was still the same, and then I got really worried. So I reached out to my mentors and some people who have experience who have more experience than me, and say, look, this is what is happening. How do I address this stuff? I got some recommendation. I got to give them to administer an antibiotics, and also to get one recommended I get the LA medication and administer it to her, and also to treat her with Flagyl as well, tetracycline and Flagyl, the antibiotics that, it could be diarrhea and, gut constipation or something like that. So I followed this recommendation, but there was no improvement. I reached out to my vet again, and I said, look, there hasn't been any improvement. That I have given the multivitamin, and we've administered some antibiotics as well, and there hasn't been any improvement, and unfortunately that was the day we lost Queen. So that got me thinking, and I was like, okay, what did we do wrong in this instance, and what can we do better? What do we learn from that? What I've observed is that, with veterinaries in Nigeria, they are very proficient in other livestock, like, poultry, you know just name it, other livestock. But because rabbits, the whole rabbit industry, particularly in Nigeria, is still not as prominent as others, they tend, from my experience, they tend not to have much experience in how to handle cases involving rabbit. I've seen this from not just from one vet, but from other vet, that, they sometimes they will treat it the same way they treating maybe poultry or some other livestock, but I don't think they are the same. So, but what we then observed after that was, after we lost Queen, about 3 of my rabbits started showing the same signs. They became weak, withdrawn, not eating. But I have treated coccidiosis previously. So I was like, okay, what exactly is the problem? So this time around, I decided, you know what, I'm going to do it myself. So I just took cue from my experience in handling livestock, particularly in handling poultry, because I'm quite experienced. I in the poultry sector. I have been there for years, so I understand how to deal with, if it is comes to chicken, I understand that perfect. So I just took cue from my own experience, and I decided to go organic. So I didn't want to do what I did previously, which was just, administering multivitamin, getting antibiotics, and just giving to the rabbit. So I went organically, and what I did was I got the bitter leaf, the scent leaf, and the purple leaf. From experience, and I've learned this from the poultry in my chicken, that sometimes, like when you use synthetic medication and it's not working, you need to move organic. Actually, with regard to Newcastle, for example, in poultry, they will tell you Newcastle disease in poultry do not have a cure. Rather you treat the symptoms. If you go to a vet, that's what they will tell you. They say, okay, you just treat the symptoms. And sometimes, from experience in poultry, when you now start treating the symptoms, it weakens the vital organs, because you just keep giving medication upon medication, and once their vital organs is weakened, they die. You see your poultry dying. So I've seen with Newcastle in poultry, organic medication can cure Newcastle. It can. I have experienced it from my own experience. If when we had Newcastle outbreak, we dealt with it with organic medication, and we've never had it anymore in our farm. So the same thing. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me use organic. So what we observed when we were analyzing the issue, the root cause of what happened, was that, I have a staff who takes care of my rabbit when I'm not around, or I'm in the farm. So he's been doing a fantastic job in taking care of them, and he usually picks the leaves for the rabbits from just one source. So there's one area he goes to get the leaves, because we give them a formulated feed in the morning, and in the evening we give them either leaves or haze in the evening. So there hasn't been any problems. Okay, so it's Christmas season, and my staff came to me and said he needed a break, which I approved. So he went home for the Christmas and the New Year. He was not around during that time. So I reached out to someone who came in and temporarily, replaces my staff just for the time being, to assist in taking care of the rabbit. Now, when we are doing the analysis of what the problem is that he was picking the leaf from a different place, and the there is a high possibility that where he was picking the leaf, the place is contaminated. So that, that affected the gut of the rabbit, their system. And the rabbit are very sensitive. Even if you wash, and again, previously my staff would pick the leaf in the morning, would wash the leaves, and would some dry the leaf during the entire day until evening before it gives it. So by then the leaves are dried, and then you can give it to the rabbit. And if there's anything, they would have, if there's any chlorine insect or anything, it would have, within that time under the sun, it would have, leave the leaf, right? It would have escaped. So, but with this other person who was temporarily assisting, he would get the leaf, he would just quickly pour water on it, and while the leaf is still wet, he would give it to the rabbit. So what we observed was that from the different place he gets because of the different area from which the leaf was gotten, it could have been possible that the leaf where this other leaf has been contaminated and is not properly dried and wetted before giving to the rabbit, and so that caused the gut upset. And once that happened, we use the antibiotics and the other stuff that we use. We are not very, very effective in addressing that. We also use sulfonamide, which is also good in dealing with diarrhea and all of that, to queen, but there was no improvement. But when we used the bitter leaf, the scent leaf, and the pawpaw leaf combination, it worked very fast. Within 2 days, they were back, they were active, and they were okay. So having experienced that, we completely decided not to give our rabbits leaf for now. So what we just give them morning and evening is our formulated feed, and maybe sometimes ales because we do our hares ourselves. We just cut the elephant grass and we sun dry it, and when they are withered, we bring it and give it to them. So that is what we learned from that experience. In fact, we've just gotten the alfalfa seed. The alfalfa seed is very, very proteinous. It's a very, very good leaf. So we've just gotten the alfalfa seed, which we've planted in our farm. So that's what we'll be giving our rabbit. So once we would use the alfalfa seed. So if you are interested in the alfalfa seed, you can also reach out to me. You can Google on it. It's a very, very good A. You could make a very good A out of it, and it's excellent. It's excellent for rabbit. So that's what we currently do. We just give formulated feed at the moment, and we give ales in the evening. That is if we don't have any remaining, we just give formulated feed throughout. So for now we've leave the leaf aside because we've learned from that experience. So I hope this is useful to anyone viewing this. Should in case you find yourself in this situation, you can learn from my experience. So please do well to like and subscribe on this channel as we bring it to you raw as possible. We tell you what our experiences are, what we've done right, what we've done wrong, the lessons we've learned from that. And the reason why you should subscribe is because we bring valuable content. We'll always try as much as we can to bring content that is very, very valuable. Once again, Happy New Year to you all. Take care of yourself, and bye-bye.